A while ago, I was making my way to West Virginia. In this little town, off to the side of the highway, name is withheld due to safety concerns of this place, they have a legend known as the Bunnyman. Now this tale is a fairly easy one to follow. Once, a long time ago, the 1800s to be exact, a mental institution was closed down. When the wardens were transferring the inmates to their new hellhole, a very daring man in the lineup managed to escape. He was missing for days. The thing that coincided with his escape was a small series of murders that happened in this little town that I happened to visit. The first victim was stabbed and skinned. The next few were cut up with axes and the bodies disposed of in the local deli, packaged as steaks and sausage meat unknowingly. The last kill before he was seen again was at a party shop. The last thing stolen and the last victim were key to his madness. See, the owner was his ex-wife, who had put him away for being a Satanist. He was, as you'd imagine, less than stellar about his incarceration. So he took his axe, and as the store was closing, pushed her and knocked her out. When he woke up, he was standing there, axe in hand, grinning. However, the differences with this kill versus the others were quite odd. He stole an Easter Bunny suit, wore it as he killed her. He started by skinning her in areas where it would hurt but not kill. He then took and wrote on the walls in her blood, "You've seen what I can do. Do not come after me, or soon you will too face the wrath of the Bunnyman." And with this, the Bunnyman lay dormant for 5 years. Every so often, there would be a random missing persons case. The locals would make a joke about them being the next of the Bunnyman victims. The one case that caused more of a successful investigation, however, was that of a small girl named Penelope. She had been missing for months, and her parents were worried. Her mother was so determined to get her back, she forced her husband and 2 of his friends, both cops, to travel into the woods that surrounded their house, and most of the town, to search for her. They searched from daybreak to dawn the next day, and when the light shone through the trees, they almost gave up. That was until they stumbled upon a small hole in the wall under the new street tunnel that connected to a railroad. Upon entering, they stumbled upon dead rabbit carcasses, rabbit bones, and guts. The meat of these rabbits swung from makeshift meat hooks and rotted to the point of mold and produced a terrible smell. The woman threw up outside. This was the most disgusting thing she had ever smelled, or seen ever. They went further into the cavern. As they reached what looked like a small bedroom, they saw more meat hooks, and then bodies. Each had a toe tag. They assumed that these were cadavers from a medical school up the road. But the thing that set these apart from other cadavers that they had seen in the past was, well, these were the missing people from their town. Another thing that set them apart was the fact that they were half eaten. That's when the mother screamed and woke the Bunnyman. She saw Penelope all right, mutilated and hanging from a meat hook. Her eyes were gone, and she was partially skinned in areas that no one should be. She had no more teeth in her, and her tongue was removed. One ear was missing. Penelope gargled a bit before weakly calling out, "Mother." The mother proceeded to go to her daughter, but before she could even say, "I love you," the Bunnyman popped out and axed Penelope in the back of her head, killing her instantly. He saw them looking as he looked back, so one of the cops pulled a gun. "Freeze, you sick bastard," he shouted. Bunnyman merely looked at him and laughed. "You really think you can stop me? You think I'm afraid? I have toe tags for you too. Now give up. You'll all be a well-earned meal." He tossed the toe tags to them with their names on it. They looked down and back up. Unfortunately, the Bunnyman had escaped out of the back to the train tracks. The cops followed him up and tried to shoot at him. They missed each shot, which led to the Bunnyman yelling an incantation. There was a sound. The train was coming. Bunnyman looked at them and laughed. He screamed at them. "I may die, but I'll always be here." The train then hit him. After a few minutes of the freight train passing by, the cops went over to where the body should have been. They only found a dead bunny in the bunny suit. Now, see, that was merely the legend of the Bunnyman. This is my personal experience at the Bunnyman Bridge. See, the local teens have a dare. At midnight, go under the Bunnyman Bridge and say Bunnyman 3 times. You should then see a bright light. Then a train sound, and lastly hear the infamous Bunnyman laugh. I wanted the most extreme thing they had to offer on this interesting tale, so I learned of a dangerous combo. Do the Bunnyman dare, plus a mirror, and a Ouija board. See, this way you can even summon his energy, then spirit, and finally trap him in a mirror. I did this, almost immediately nothing happened. I assumed that it was what it sounded like, bullshit. But then the mirror started cracking. Finally it exploded, and I heard a laugh. Being completely freaked the fuck out, I ran away just to hear my phone ring and get a text at the same time. Only my ringer wasn't an 8-bit version of Freebird that I was accustomed to. It was that laugh. I read my text, and it said, "I have your toe tags." And me, being even more afraid than before, hopped in my car and sped off back to my hotel. I couldn't sleep that night. Every 5 minutes, the phone would ring with that goddamn laugh. Sometimes when I could get some sleep and went slightly into a dream, I saw a man in a bunny suit smiling and holding an axe. The next day I got out of bed and went through town to ask any of the locals about what was happening to me. One of them told me to speak with the old woman down the road near Bunnyman Bridge. I found the woman by the name of Candace that lived close by the bridge. She was around 60 and knew everything about Bunnyman. She was the town's spiritual advisor. I was not the first to have this happen to them. Apparently in the 60s, a woman was dared to do this and was driven to the point of insanity. It was so bad, she actually killed people the same way Bunnyman did. She was arrested, but when she resisted, she was shot and killed. The woman seemed to like me enough to want to help, though. She said I reminded her of her grandson, who had died a week prior to my visit. Fairly odd, but I wanted this to stop. I probably could have lived with it, but Bunnyman's laugh is so annoying and ear-piercing. She started a seance and asked the Bunnyman what he wanted and why he was here for me. "I want to be remembered like little Amber," the woman from the 60s, remembered me. "Kill, kill, kill," was repeated over and over. Every time a question was asked, he would say kill louder. Finally, I got pissed. "Just fuck off, you fat shit!" I yelled to him in the abyss. He laughed and went away, and she said the only thing to stop him was to confront him. She explained that I needed to reverse what I started. I had to say Bunnyman 3 times in a mirror. I went back to my hotel and did so. It was midnight. I was in a dark room with a mirror and I said his name. At first I heard nothing. And then I heard whispering in my ear. Kill for me. Kill for me. And bring my terror back, friend. Do it. And that's where I was afraid. I had no idea what to do. All I could think of was, fuck off, asshole. Fuck off. And that's when it hit me. He was a talker. Now that he was dead, he couldn't do shit. He made Amber mad by talking to her. And this is where I decided to talk back. I wouldn't be weak and feeble like Amber. I wouldn't let his words enter my brain and warp my perception of life. I turned to where I thought he was and yelled, "You can't control me, you dead fuck. You're weak and useless. I bet you're a bitch in hell. Go away and never come back." He started to yell again. "Kill for me. Kill for me." I retaliated with, "Go away and never come back." And every time he would get loud, I would scream twice as loud. Finally, I screamed to the point of losing my voice, "Fuck off and go to hell!" Then it stopped. I turned the light on and saw, to my horror, what was in the mirror. A rotted face and bunny ears. Its eyes bleeding. Was this Bunnyman? I mean, it had to be. We locked eyes. It screamed, making me jump a bit. Then his head busted into flames, and the skin melted off to show a skull. It fell from its suspended animation to the floor. I heard the crash, looked towards the floor. Nothing. Was it over? Guess so, but what the fuck was that about? I went to sleep peacefully that night. However, upon waking, I learned that the old woman had died in her sleep. They suspected a heart attack, but when I saw her body, I just wanted to pay my respects. I noticed something. Her right toe already had a toe tag on it. Guess Bunnyman got another victim. Poor woman. This is the burden a thrill seeker has to accept. The thrill can kill. Till next time, this is Thrill Seeker saying, be wary of what you do. In memory of Rosanna Tagliola. November 18th, 1921 to August 29th, 2008. I have your toe tags waiting for you, boy.